Hello, fellow YouTubers who are probably people watching this because it's about, how to make YouTube videos, or dedicated fans of my channel that want to know what's going on. Because of Gear Street this year, 42 Gear Street 2, I set up a whole second studio, and because I have all that extra camera gear which I got for Gear Street, it made sense to actually leave it set up, because if we can pull off Gear Street next year, the whole studio is sitting there. And if it's set up, I might as well do videos in there, and certain videos make a lot of sense, like amp demos, where it's much easier to set up the amp from the front and the back, guitar demos, stuff like this. It's a super beautiful room, and I thought I'll go and show you, because, well, you asked. I'm filming the whole thing on a DJI Pocket 2, so audio, I don't know how that works, and video is totally done with this self-stabilizing gimbal thingy, primarily because it's the thing that makes the most sense when I'm moving around. So the video quality isn't going to be stellar, but it's there. So here we go. We're going to go into Studio B, and I'm going to run down the whole thing. There's going to be a lot of techie things like what lenses I use, what cameras, what lights, primarily because that's what a studio tour is. So if you're interested in that, follow me into Studio B. So if I click this thing 3 times, 1, 2, 3, there's the door. And we're going to walk in there. Where's the key? I got it, hopefully, in my pocket. Wait, yes. Close the door. There's a Gear Street sign. Studio B. And right there is a red light, which I can remotely turn on and off. My brother did an amazing job doing ridiculous things in this studio. From completely painting it, to doing carpeting on this beam, to the power. He has not put things on the switches, and this needs to be covered up. There's a Joyo amp hanging there, and Michiel's badge and Dennis's badge. Don't know why they're still there. So there's a Joyo amp on the hanger. The most important thing that my brother did, in addition to all the amazing painting and everything, there's a plexiglass screen, there's a shelf, is the air conditioning. So in the attic, which is up there, next to the not yet renovated kitchen, which we're gonna have, and not yet renovated bathroom. Yes, this will have its own bathroom. How cool is that? He set up several air conditioning units with in-out everything in the attic. So in here is actually the filtered outlet for the main room. And back in the corner there is the intake and whatever different holes, which we now plugged up with a balloon because it's winter. There's also a little thing sticking out, which is the O2 measuring. So you can actually measure how much O2 is happening in here. Then he did the same thing for the switching room, with an outlet right here for air, also filtered. And if you have this door closed, this room is rather small, he has an O2 measuring thing, making sure you don't die. So also a red light in here, O2 measuring thing there. That is pretty damn cool. My brother did a phenomenal job. So we're gonna start with this room, which is where you film. Now the biggest difference here to my main studio is that this is a dedicated video studio. In my main studio, I don't want lights hanging like this. I don't want lights like this. Every YouTuber knows it's a pain in the ass, and the room will not be a livable room. So in my main studio, the challenge is making sure all that stuff is integrated into the decor of the room. So there's 9 cameras in my main studio, and you barely see them. Here, as you can see, there's massive shit in front of me, which you wouldn't want to have if you lived in this room. So this is a dedicated video studio. So this is where I'm sitting. And it's a perfect room for interviews because I actually have 2 chairs, all that stuff. It is made for the kind of videos I can't do in my main room. In my main room, I can't really have combos living permanently. And here, you can see into the depth of the room, there's combos, there's cabs, and all this. So this backdrop has been designed very differently than my main room. There's pedal shelves, as many have. You know, this is kind of the standard now for YouTube. There are IKEA shelves with amps and pedals. Here are the rev pedals. A beautiful 2-color vert board by my friend Mark Darby from Marcus Deluxe. Another vert board right here for the Captor X, which is the main aggregate of recording guitars in here. So while we're back here, let's go through what's happening in terms of amps and cabling. Everything that's back here goes into the 88S Studio, another Ampede switcher, which, yes, I had to buy. Haven't paid it yet, but I had to buy. And you can switch, of course, the cabs, and I think this is also wired, and the amps. And that is being controlled by a remote next to me right there. Not cheap, but worth it. The output of cab 1 is going into the Captor X, which literally has one preset on it, which is the Fortin UK30 cab, which is great. Going out stereo, and that is the IR and then a DI signal. In case I messed up, I can put a different IR on there. Cabs going in, and then the output is going very quietly into the orange PPC 212, I think it's the V, very lightweight cab, just so that I have a little bit of fill from the back. This is, yes, it is set up. Look at the back there. All the amps wired up, and also the Waza. So the Waza is assignable if I choose to, and I think the Waza out is going into the Engel cab. Let me check that. Yes, it is. Oops, I bumped the light. So, as far as amps goes, we have a Rev G20, which was the main metal amp in here, in addition to the Engel. But, well, now I have a 120, so the 100p is here, so I don't know what that's doing here. But those are both wired in. Here's my 100p, 412 rev cab, just for show. 2 Fender combos. The main clean amp, obviously Fender Deluxe Reverb. JTM style amp, the Achilles, Argos, a Rev 740 for the crunch stuff. I primarily use that for channel 2. 212 rev cab for show. Then there's the Engel Fireball 25, which is another one of those, let me show you, metal sounds amp in here, with a 212 vertical cab. And that's the only white one that exists. So it stays here. Hands off. Obviously loads of decorating with these beautiful lights here. And I wanted to get depth in this room, meaning when you're filming from here, I wanted a lot of space to the back so that I'm nice and sharp and the back is a little bit blurry. That's the idea, but a really nice blurriness. So let's talk for a second lighting, which is a bitch in here. So we have these ambient Nido lights, some there, there's another one right there, and they make the nice ambience. This room would not work without the help of Adam Hall. And in this case, well, several things from Adam Hall, but most certainly cameo lights. If we turn this purple light off, the room is dead. We've tried it. We had it off. The room is literally the most boring thing. Even with everything that you see here, it doesn't work because A, it gives it depth and color from behind, but it also creates this V. See, the shelves are blocking it, and it creates this beautiful V on the wall. And look at this. These shelves actually get a little bit of a light right there. And this is not a cheap light. It's the Pixpar, I think 650 Pro. It's very, very, very bright. It is made for live. It is made for professional applications. But it is very bright and powerful. It can be DMX controlled, can be any color you want, all that stuff. One of the important things is it doesn't flicker, because when you film, you don't want flickering in the back, and a lot of the colored LEDs will flicker. So it doesn't do that. And then on the sides, we have these cameo spots, don't even know what they're called, and they're on a really cool gravity X brace, also courtesy of Adam Hall. Thank you guys. Products provided, but not paid for. And these create the beautiful turquoise on the left and right. So we have my logo colors on the left and right. The whole room, if you're setting up and stuff, there's curtains right there. This one shouldn't be there. And you can move those out of the way. And now to go in and out, you have a nice big opening. But obviously when we film, we close that up. Also, courtesy of Adam Hall, are these cable bridges. So right there's, for example, another amp. This will always be the floater amp, something that I'm filming, something that I'm showing right now, something that I want to feature on this coffee custom cab. And the cables to it are running here, and we don't want people to trip over cables. So there's a cable bridge, which is where the cables run into. You can clearly see that in the middle there, all three cables. Pull that together. There. Which is really cool to have. They're not inexpensive, but they're good to have. And there's another one of those spots, creating the little bit of turquoise on the right. So we talked about how we're recording the guitar in here. Of course, I can mic if I want to. You can see the cables running to the Fender. And I even have an open slot for another combo that I can place here, because there's another set of cables sitting right there. I can set up another combo in seconds. My main guitar sound and cable run through this cable bridge. Again, all safe so you don't trip. 3 1-meter cable bridges back in here into the back of the Ampede. That's the lighting that you see there. Or is it? No, it isn't. There's more lighting in the back. This spot right there was kind of dark. Wait. So right now, that's what it looks like. And in the videos, it was kind of, there's a boring spot. So we have this caliber from light panels. I have 3 of those, and they're very good spots. All daylight, and you turn that on. And that bit of highlighting makes a big difference, trust me. So up there, I have dado spots. They're very bright. There's spider webs on them. Dado daylights. They are really, they're the D-LED 4 daylight. Really not cheap, trust me. But it's a very, very good, very powerful spot to highlight the back of our heads or the back of the amp. This is the power supply for it, right there. It's being held with a Triad Orbit SS clamp, OA head right there to be the perfect position. How does this work? Here we go. There you go. And the same thing on the other side. If you want to look up the pricing on these stupid lights, it hurts. It hurts to buy these, but it's good to have that power from the back, because you can see that's lighting the back of the chair right here, and that means my head is beautifully separated with that halo light. The same thing here, and if I'm shooting an amp, I'm moving away this chair out of the way. We pull this cap over here, and bam, the back of the amp is automatically lit, which in the other studio I have to set up, and it's a whole pain in the ass. Filming an amp in here takes a minute to set up and a minute to put back, so that's great. So okay, back here, again, we have halo light, Dado D-LED 4 daylight, Dado D-LED 4 daylight, a caliber spot for the back of the wall. And you already saw it. You should invest into this bar. I don't know what it's called. I put a link below. It's freaking insane. Martin from Adam Hall brought these. They're not screwed in. I can unclip this, bam, and it actually tightens. This is roughly almost 4 meters. And look at this. I mean, yeah, it wobbles a bit, but it's tight enough to hang the lights and that spot from it. And of course, you don't see it in the video. And I have the ability to do overhead stuff. And nothing is screwed into the wall. This is literally just pushing against this beam. And there's another one up there. That was the first one we had installed. I think they're 50 or 60 bucks each, and it's something that technically every YouTuber should have, because most YouTubers don't have a room this wide. Meaning you could put anything on the ceiling and actually put it away again in minutes. They sell a pack of 3, and I'm actually in a case. I'm actually thinking of getting that just to have for other situations. So on this front one here, which again you don't see, I have a triad orbit clamp with an OAM, that's the medium head, with an extension arm, and there's my shotgun, right there. That's the Sennheiser MKH 416 P48. I have 2 of those. Thank you, Sennheiser. That was provided by them. That is an amazing shotgun. I love the sounds I'm getting here. And if you look at the TV in front of me, that's what I see. I do this, okay? So I check. There's my finger. So the mic is literally this far out of the shot. So it's, let me see. See? There's the mic, and there's me. That's about 40 centimeters, maybe. That's why I'm getting a really good vocal sound in here. Moving on. So this is where I sit. And that's what I see. Yeah, there's a camera in front of the TV, but it doesn't matter. I just need to know what Leslie is switching to. It doesn't matter that it blocks things out. So in front of me, bring, is a pedal board with kind of the pedals of the day, whatever I need for the demo, just to quickly have that. There's a list of amps. I have a Harley Benton ISO board under this monitor speaker, right there, just to make sure it's a little bit isolated from the room. And this is what I hear. That's the iCoa from LD Systems. It's a 112. You don't need FR, whatever. This thing is 250 bucks or something like this, and it sounds fantastic. And the great thing is it has 2 inputs. So one input is coming actually directly from the headphone out. Okay. Oh, let's look at this. Headphone out, and then the XLR out. All the cables in here, by the way, are from Hoser. Products provided, not paid for. And that's going back there into a stage box, if you can see that. That's a Hoser stage box. And there is a, that's for the headphone out, a hum canceller from Pauly-Tech, which is great. And that's actually, the headphone out is running into the hum canceller, the hum eliminator, and then in here. So one side of this cab, it's got 2 inputs. Look at that. One input is coming directly from the headphone out of the Captor X. The other one is actually coming from the control room so that Leslie can talk to me and tell me, you know, do this for the camera, whatever. Okay, let's go into lighting. Oh, all the cables, of course, see in the back there? I'll show you. So all the cables, including audio, run into the corner here, right there. So all this stuff, audio and video, is running into the corner, into the next room. And apparently there's another O2 measuring thingy. As for the cameras, oh no, let's do lighting. Let's do lighting first. Okay, so here on me and the product, primarily guitar, we have a light panels Astro 6 times, which is a bicolor. So you can change the lighting color, and in here all the lights are bicolor. Not that I need it. I usually stick to 55,000, 5600, something like that, and keep it daylightish. Over there, that's another Astro 6 by. And then the main light right there, we're gonna look at. Oh, these are, by the way, attached up here on a bar that we installed with another SS clamp from Triad Orbit, and actually a boom. Look at this. There's a boom. So I can swing this if I want to. I can actually get this further down if I want to. I have full control with this ball head right there over where this light is sitting. Pretty cool, huh? I think so. And Vanessa, my brother, and I, we spent days in here. Thank you so much, Vanessa, to set this all up. So here again, there's another SS clamp on a Triad Orbit boom, holding yet another Astra 6 by bicolor from light panels. The main light with the small light dome, not the big one. I have the other one with the big one. I've got I think it's the 120 Lightstorm, the LS 120, whatever, with the big one for the living room. But here I went with the small dome because the big dome is just too big. That's the Aperture 300X. It's pretty new this year from Aperture. There's the control box for it. You can see we're at 5600. Not running full power right now because you don't need that. It is standing. I know this is all products, but I mean, hey, that's what this is about. It's standing on a gravity stand, which is killer because it's got this huge, mega metal, very heavy base plate. And you can see I'm not screwed into the middle hole. This is actually in the corner. So this base plate is holding this light, and another base plate over there from Gravity is actually holding this 55-inch TV. See, it's mounted with one of those, come from Gravity. So you can use these for lighting, for whatever. They're super heavy duty, and I love these stands. Okay, so that's the lighting in here. The main light is an Aperture 300X. The side fills are 6 times light panels from us, Astro light panels from, no, there's 6 times Astros from light panels. Cameras. I have this little RMX, DMX, I don't know what it's called, Sony RX100 IV, which is actually a very good camera. And that is going HDMI out over there. We can look at that. That's the red cable. And it's being powered to run longer by this power bank, which actually is held by this magnet. Bam. Just got to make sure that the camera is full when you start, and then it's going to be continuously recharged by the power bank. That is filming, as you can see, the pedal board. It's not the priority because pedals we do in the other studio, but why not? Why not show the pedal board? I think we should when we talk about stuff like that. So, HDMI cable is going back here into an HDMI to SDI converter, which is right there running into the other room. That's how we do that. Just like this camera, and that's the favorite cam, as Leslie calls it. The reason why we have this, that's a Sony Alpha 6400 with the stock lens right now. The reason why we have this is A, flip around screen, and B, it's the only camera in the room that will do autofocus. So if I do any kind of guitar video and I need to show something into the camera and have it autofocus, right now I can show a bridge, I can show the headstock, and this camera, as you can see, Bam, now it's gonna focus on me. Bam, now it's gonna autofocus on my hand, on the bridge or whatever. So we need an autofocus camera to show details. That, of course, is also going HDMI out. It's being powered. Everything is powered. There's nothing running on batteries. That wouldn't make sense. It's being powered by USB right now. HDMI to SDI converter. Everything, of course, running in 4K. So that's the favorite cam. We covered the top cam. Here's the cam for the guy, well, technically next to me. That camera is kind of shooting across to shoot whoever's sitting there. Or it's shooting my guitar if it's just me. And then that camera is shooting my face if we're dealing with two people. And then in the middle, we have the main cam. And then there is the close cam. Let's talk about this one. That would be one of the guitar cams or, well, face cams. That's the Blackmagic studio camera. Only HDMI out. It doesn't record anything. This is meant for live TV or what I do, live switching. Great camera, and the good thing here is they do have screens, and you can at least see what you're doing. You can focus. There's, as you can see, focus peaking if you wanted that. So I can go and peek on the chair. Done. The lens I have on this, no, don't autofocus. Who cares? The lens I have on this is actually rather inexpensive. That's the 20mm prime from Panasonic. I think this is $250, and it's fantastic. It's a 1.7, and it's really a fantastic lens for what we do if you're dealing with MFT. Micro Four Thirds mounts. So this is the move cam. This is what I take to NAMM. This is what I take when I go out and film on location, because it's a great camera. You can have a shotgun on it, XLR. I have a receiver for my Sennheiser AVX system on it. Big ass batteries that last 2 to 3 hours, and I've got 4 of those. Dual recording on cards in HVAC5. So on one card, I literally get 10 hours on a 512 card. It's got headphone out. It's got direct SDI in 4K. This is a kick-ass camera. It's a Canon XF705. So the great thing with this is it zooms with a zoom bipper, as we say, right there. And if you're careful, you can really do beautiful slow zooms. Okay, but the great thing is, if I'm over here somewhere, it's all good, it's totally in focus. I can go on this, I can zoom in, bam, and it is going to be in focus. Look at the detail. This is all the way zoomed in now, and it immediately focused. I can get extreme detail with this camera, which is always the camera that either is going to be on the amp panel across the room, or the camera that's going to be on the fretboard or whatever. And preferably someone is actually going to man this camera. Someone's going to stand here with headphones on, being able to communicate or at least hear from the control room that their camera is going to be live. And that's how we did it for some videos at Gear Street. And because it is on this tripod, which is very smooth, like I can very smoothly move this camera around, and this is a killer tripod. I'm so happy about this. It is, again, not inexpensive, but it's carbon. It folds up in seconds. It folds out in seconds. It's the thing they bought to be flexible at NAMM, which of course, you know, probably will never happen again. Who knows? And I'm using it here. I'm using it on location. This is my on location setup. That's the Sachtler Flow-Tech kick-ass tripod, if you ask me. And I would buy this in a heartbeat any day again. So this is the move cam. I'll do this one more time. Badoink! Bam! On the amp. Done. Fix it. I don't have to worry about anything. This camera will always color-wise look a little bit different than the others. There's no way to actually make it the same in a live switching setup. Leaves the main cam. Again, same Blackmagic camera. I did spend the money, which hurt like a bitch, for a fixed 12. Because I need to get that angle where the seats are just at the edge. To get that width, I needed a 12. And for a wide angle that's not curved, you need a good lens. So this thing costs over $1,200, but it is a very, very good wide angle lens. So that's the main shot. And then here, back to a very cheap lens, the 25 from Panasonic, which will run you $249 or something, or even cheaper, I think, in Denmark. Victor found that. Kick-ass lens, and that's showing right now. That chair, or me, or the guitar, that's probably like the main guitar shot, but look how nice. I can be totally in focus, the guitar can be in focus, the revs out of focus. That's the shot that I like. So, and there's, very important, a trash can. You need that. So that's the main room. If anyone thinks, oh yeah, YouTubers, they film with iPhone. Fuck you. Here's the control room. Pretty soundproof, and we need that because once we're in here, you hear that the switching system is ridiculously loud. We don't want that on the recording. And we made sure, Robin and Tonio installed this, that this room is a little bit dampened. I got these from Thomann, relatively cheap, $50 a case, and we got a whole bunch of them. I think we had some on the ceiling, but they fell down. So here's the thing. My brother, the brilliant, brilliant man, this door needs to be closed, right? But you can see it doesn't stay closed. It doesn't. So my brother installed a big ass handle. I think it's from a kiteboard. And look at this, a magnet. So you turn this magnet on. This is very, very, I mean, I'm leaning all the way back right now, and it doesn't open. This is a very strong magnet. Brilliant, right? Now the door is closed. Bam, open. Again, close it up. Flip the switch. Opens. So he was smart enough to think about, wait a second. What if the switch is on and you close the door? You just locked yourself out and you're fucked. You'd have to use brute force to get in there. No, you don't. Here's his safety mechanism. A cable that he put a plug on, and it's wired together. So when you pull this apart, the door just opened. See, that's what he did. It's a switch. It's a very simple switch. So bam, the door just opened. Now it's active again, but I can get in. How freaking brilliant of my brother. He also labeled the rooms B3. This is B2. And this is B4. Not after. So that when you're talking about where to get things, you know where to get things. So in here, in B2, it's storage now for a lot of my camera cases. There's another ISO thing from Harley Benton, really good value. Camera cases, the big case for the main cam, my travel case for the main cam, camera cases. Do you still think that us YouTubers, we film with a cell phone? Here's a case for the stand, another camera case, a Pedal Bay 40 case from Palmer, more cases for heads and whatever. Yeah. Actually, right now I'm filming with a very, very mobile setup. Would be good to use that at NAMM instead of what I'm taking. Me, the idiot. Okay. So that is storage, which I'm very happy to have. And in B4, I think we have a light there, is also storage. Lighting cases, more light stands, aperture case, light panels. I have more of those little spots. There's my travel case for that Sachtler tripod. Hard case to take it on a plane, which you need. Who knows what's in there. And cables. SDI cables. If you don't know how much that's worth, you can buy a nice guitar for the cables in that box. Look it up. Okay, in here is the command center. Purple chair, of course. And for audio, right now I've got this Yamaha console, which has an issue. It is very, very noisy, and I got to figure out with Yamaha why that is. So I'm using that for monitoring, but not for recording. I'm actually for recording going directly into the Zoom F6 32-bit recording. It sounds ridiculously good. You can even put this under a camera. It is very small. It can be powered with a Sony battery. Records 6 tracks in 32-bit. I think up to 96K, whatever. It's a very good recorder, and the results I'm getting are great. That's of course all coming from the stage box in the other room. So I'm using that for monitoring, and in order to communicate with the cameraman in the other room, we have a Sennheiser pack, which is getting signal from this G4 from Sennheiser. Thank you, Sennheiser, for loading that to me. It has saved my ass numerous times. So that is, the cameraman has that, and it's being fed by an aux send from here, which we call Move. Right there. So all you got to do is put that on, talk, and then the guy can hear in his headset what you're saying. And then the talkback right there, turn that on, I can hear what Leslie's saying, and both are operated or fed by individual mics, and they're actually the 040s from Lewitt. So I have this little mic stand on the table, and I zip tied two 040s together, going here to allow talkback either to me in the LD systems ICOA 112 or the headset fed through the Sennheiser. Moving on, there's a shitty 1080 50 hertz interlaced monitor. It's flickering like crazy, but it's good enough as a what's it called, multi-view. And there are, they angled here some extra lenses, another 12 to 35, another 25 in case I needed those. So we got the main, we got left, we got right, we got the move cam, we got the top, we got, oh, the amps, we haven't talked about the amps cam. And there's the favorite, which is the one that focuses. We're gonna go to the amps cam in a sec. So Leslie can see all this, but this isn't good to focus. This isn't good to actually see what's going on. That's pretty shitty. So in here, this is my mobile rack if I ever need to go somewhere and set up a live switching system mobile. There's actually a Blackmagic 4K screen mounted right into this. And you can actually see both screens. I have a 1080 i50, you can see that up there in the corner. It says 2160p 25 or 1080 i50. So she can see a good version of the multi-view right here. Much better to look at the colors and everything right there than on the other screen. Or, very important, the actual program view right there. And that's where she can focus. That's where she can judge the colors. That's the important window. All that is, of course, governed by the Blackmagic software right there. It's a MacBook. And she can set up whatever she needs to in the software. And then, of course, in the software, if she so chooses, switch right there. Right there. The heart of the whole thing is this ATEM 1ME 4K. It's got 10 inputs. SDI, only one HDMI. I have a recorder there, which is the HyperDeck Mini, and there's a web presenter for 720p. I don't think we would need that. I would probably try to stream in 4K if I stream from here, but the web presenter is there. So that's like the rack that I made 2 years ago. Okay, and the switching can happen through software, but what I'm actually doing is, let me turn this stuff on. I have these air steps from Exonic, which are meant, oh, not this one, which, this is meant to do expression pedal, MIDI in, USB, amp switching, MIDI out, all this. But it had a problem, so they sent me a new one, so I X'd this one. And this is now my switcher because it sends, with Bluetooth, HID's signals, which means key presses, to whatever you want, your iPad, your computer. And this is the light, which has none of these outputs. It's just Bluetooth. And together, they actually build one unit. Which means we have 10 buttons if we want so. And technically, let's see if it works. Oh wait, I gotta hit cut. Cut. Oh wait, so in order for this to work, I have to make sure that cut is enabled. So I'm hitting control, and control will enable cut for good. So right now, you can see main, left, right, move, top, amps, favorite. So, yeah, I can switch the cameras right here, and that way she has a very simple switcher. I don't have to buy another 3,000 euro panel, which, trust me, I thought about, but that's of course asinine and stupid. So this is totally fine to switch the angles from here, and together they are 400 bucks. And of course you can use them for many, many other things. They're even battery powered. And so the good thing about this is, if I wanted to set up cameras in the other room, I can actually sit here, have this with me, and it's Bluetooth. See this? Look at this. The camera even shows you in red that it's on. Main cam, tally light goes on. So I can easily switch cameras from here if I wanted that. Or Leslie can come in here, switch the cameras, set them up while I'm sitting here playing guitar, and she doesn't have to run back and forth. So that remote controllable Bluetooth ability, because of the Exonic AirStep, which by the way they did pay for a video on my channel, but I'm not pushing this right now because they're paying for it. This is a brilliant product. Can be programmed with your phone. Super simple, either MIDI or HID. So all I did is just the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I can even, I don't know what that does. And that cut, I can even turn off remotely from right here if I wanted that. Everything is not being recorded onto the HyperDeck Studio Mini. I actually have a HyperDeck Studio Pro here, just like I have in my main studio, which means we're coming over here with an SSD. We stick the SSD in here and we're recording in, I hope I set that up correctly, video, record, set. We're recording in Apple ProRes 422. I don't know if you could see that. Probably not. So we record directly in Apple ProRes 422 onto the card with a monitored signal, so we can monitor the audio on there, but of course the actual audio is being recorded over there, and then I put it together in the studio. Leslie is hearing me through those 100 euro Alesis monitors that I bought at Thomann. I bought those for my own money, and oh my god, they are crap. They're literally the shittiest monitors. They immediately distort. I will probably put my KSDs in here. Another thing I want to mention is, right here, instead of this board, I'm considering using a Antelope Audio Zentour, which is an audio interface, which I can of course hook up there with either Thunderbolt or USB. But even if it's not hooked up, the connections you made on it are active even though it's not using the interface. So meaning you can use it in standalone, and it has talkback capabilities, it has routing capabilities, it has this massive routing, and so it's got 8 inputs, 4 mic inputs, which is what I need, and it has 8 outputs through a DTAP, which means I could have a little audio interface here from Antelope Audio and not use this behemoth for monitoring, which right now isn't working the way it's supposed to anyway. So that's the idea. I'm going to try the Zen Tour in here once I get deeper into it. And yeah, that's it. Now I get back. Oh, by the way, yeah, this is for SSDs to hook up to the computer. That's Studio B. It's being highly underused right now. Any company... Oh, wait. Right there, sound treatment, by the way, on the ceiling. So any company that wants to go and, I don't know, rent this, any company that wants to go and make kick-ass guitar presentations, you can come and rent this room from me. I don't know for how much. Technically, with everything in here, you can't afford it, but you can. So you can come in here, bring your artist, set up your gear, change the whole back if you want to, or put up, you know, a logo banner, put a logo up there, put your pedals there, you know, change it a bit, take an hour to change the room, and then we can even not have my signature chairs. You can even bring your own chair, whatever you want. But you could have a very, very easy time coming in here, working in a room that's pretty much perfectly set up to do guitar videos with 7 cameras. Set up in an hour, maybe 2, spend a day or 2 in here, do all your company videos that you need to do, and take the data pretty much almost edited home. So yeah, I'm offering that to brands if they're in Europe, in Germany. You'd be hard pressed to find a video studio perfectly equipped for guitar demos that's better than this. I'm gonna be an ass. I think you would probably... John Brown has a pretty damn kick-ass setup. Anderton's, but they're gonna shoot Anderton's videos. Something you can just walk in and rent. Right here. You can even rent Leslie for a price. Last camera, the amps camera. Totally decadent. Because that's a Blackmagic cinema camera. My first 4K camera that I had. With a very nice 16-35 lens on it. And it's got SDI out. So I'm using that for a nice wide angle shot of the amps. Which is sexy, and why not? And what I can do is, because I have all these extra long cables, I have an extension cable even for the power, I can take this camera, which is of course mounted on a Triad Orbit mini stand with the ball head, and I can easily move this in this whole area here and move it behind an amp and film the back of the amp. I can move it back here and film this. It's a very quick and easy movable camera to do another shot of something you need. Maybe the pedal board from back here, filming this. So it's all set up. All you need to do is move it to the spot. The cables, as you can see, are already long enough. I made this room so that the setups that are difficult to do in my studio are super easy to do here, and vice versa. I obviously made it for Gear Street, and it did a phenomenal job. Everyone wanted to be in here. But now it's set up, and next to Gear Street, this room is done. I have to do 0 to it. Meaning the only thing I have to set up is my living room. And again, if you're a company looking to do kick-ass demos with your artist or whatever, you can set up your own video room. It's not gonna be that cool. I mean, it could be. But it's gonna take you money and time. Here, everything's already done, so just give me your money. Love you guys that watched this whole video, which by now is over 50 minutes long. But lots of stuff to cover. And I'm happy. I'm happy to work in here. We're going to do some videos tomorrow. Then I'm getting Ibanez guitars. A big part of the 2021 range, all going to be filmed in here. Thank you, Ibanez, for that. And today we went into major lockdown again in Germany. So everyone, please wear your masks, stay inside, stay safe. Let's get through this together. I love you 2 bits, all of you guys. I don't know what 2 bits means, but that's how much I love you. I hope this was informative. If not, fuck off. And Adam was at the end.